All right, this is the Chapter 12 review PowerPoint. Motivational thought of the day. As stylists, we're ground shakers and day makers, setting trends while fostering that connection between a person's inner and outer self. That is from Rebecca Gregory. She's a stylist, educator, motivational beauty leader in the industry. When you think of hairstyling, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Most likely you think of blow drying or flat ironing or perhaps braiding the hair, right? But if you had looked ahead in this chapter, you have discovered there's a lot more than just blow drying the hair. All right, so here we've got our learning objectives for this chapter. Number 1 is explain professional hairstyling and how it can enhance your beauty career. Number 2 is detail the steps for an effective hairstyling consultation. Describe professional hairbrushes, combs, and implements and their specific uses. Identify the different types of styling aids and their many uses. Explain the features and benefits of professional blow dryers and the safety precautions to take when using them. Describe different types of thermal irons used by salon professionals, including their safety precautions, and demonstrate curling iron and smoothing techniques. We're going to discuss thermal pressing in terms of type of pressing tools, products, and procedures. Describe and demonstrate natural textured styles. Describe and demonstrate curl formation and teasing techniques. Explain the different types of wet sets and demonstrate how to perform them. Describe the importance of updo preparation, sectioning, pinning, and balance, and create 2 foundational updos for styling long hair. Why study hairstyling? All your clients are impacted by your skills as a hairstylist. Their finished styles are the last thing they see in your mirror and the first thing the outside world sees when they leave the salon. Looking good makes your clients feel good and spotlights your styling abilities. Everyone's hair texture is different. You should be able to perform styling services on all hair textures with the skills and confidence needed to attract and retain any client. This includes natural hairstyling and understanding the natural hair movement. Natural hairstyling is styling that does not use chemicals or alter textured hair's natural curl or coil pattern. The natural hair movement is a recognized lifestyle embraced by people worldwide. More than a trend, it has grown exponentially over the last several decades and has become an expression of culture, heritage, and the many different textures and styles it presents, such as locks, twists, and braids. Hairstyling consultation. Begin by completing a standard consultation with your client. We learned how to do a complete consultation in Standard Foundations Chapter 3, Communicating for Success. Principles of hair design. Don't forget to apply what you learned in Chapter 9, Principles of Hair Design. You will want to determine potential hairstyles that complement your client's features and lifestyle and that are best for their hair texture. Reference the 5 principles of hair design and hair types and textures. For clients seeking natural hairstyles, in addition to the standard consultation questions, ask about their daily, weekly hair care maintenance routine, curly, coily styling regimen, and haircut and style determinations. This will help you determine which looks are best suited for and maintained by the client, such as curly or coily wash and go styles, braids, protective styles, locks, natural textured sets, or a natural textured style. The following are examples of questions you can ask your client regarding their at-home routine. Do you generally go to a professional for hair services? What is your weekly hair care maintenance routine and curly styling regimen? How often do you cleanse and condition your hair? Do you co-wash? Use cleansing conditioner that refreshes and adds moisture to hair between weekly shampoos? What shampoos and conditioners are you using? Are they sulfate-free? You must have a clear idea of your client's expectations for their special occasion hairstyle. Ask them to describe how they envision their hairstyle, then ask them to repeat their message using pictures. If available, ask them to bring photos of what they will be wearing for their special event. Only after gathering all the information and studying their face, body shape, and formal dress should you finalize the selected updo. Thermal irons. Thermal irons wave, curl, smooth, or straighten dry hair using a variety of styling techniques. This process is called thermal waving and curling, also known as Marcel waving. There are 4 basic types of thermal irons: clamp-free irons, flat irons, and specialty irons such as crimping irons. All thermal irons have 4 basic parts. The rod or barrel is the thermal iron's round, solid prong. The rod handle is held with the palm. The shell is the clamp or clasp that presses the hair against the thermal iron's rod or barrel. The shell is maneuvered with the fingers. Different barrel sizes will create different curls. The smaller the barrel, the tighter the curl. The larger the barrel, the looser the curl. There are 2 types of clamp irons, spring and Marcel. Both iron types can create everything, including ringlets, loose curls, defined Hollywood waves, and relaxed beachy textures. Electric curling irons have round barrels which typically range from 1/2 inch to 2 inches in diameter. Stove-heated Marcels have a greater size range. Most pro beauty tool manufacturers make both styles of clamp irons to accommodate stylists' preferences. Thermal iron safety. Safe use of thermal irons should always be your #1 priority. Here are some guidelines that will help you and your client stay safe while styling their hair. Test the iron's temperature by clamping it around a white cotton towel or tissue for 5 seconds before placing it on the hair. If the iron scorches the towel or tissue, it's too hot for the hair. Let it cool for a few seconds and test it again. An overly hot iron can scorch the hair and even discolor white or gray hair. Handle thermal irons carefully to avoid burning yourself or the client. Always analyze and understand the hair's condition and texture before setting the heat. Bleached or lightened hair is extremely delicate and can break off or melt when exposed to excessive heat. Use lower settings for fine or badly damaged hair and high settings for coarse, curly, and thick hair. Thermal iron barrels and plates eventually develop a buildup of styling aids and natural oils that can cause discoloration on clients' hair. To clean your thermal irons, do the following. Unplug your iron. If heated, allow it to cool to room temperature. Using a spray bottle, slightly dampen a cloth with water or rubbing alcohol. Rub the damp cloth on the iron's barrel or plate several times until the coating has been removed. If the coating is stubborn, use a professional thermal iron cleaner. Dry the barrel or plates using a dry absorbent cloth. Sponging technique. The sponge is a very popular tool used to create tiny or chunky coils on very curly and coily textures. The double-sided foam sponge is designed with small and large holes in the sponge. The holes gather hair together while the sponge is rubbed in a circular motion on top of the head after applying a curl cream or foam. Clients with very tight, dry coils should be very careful when using this technique. There are several natural textured sets and styles created on naturally curly and coily textured hair. Natural textured sets elongate naturally frizzy hair and produce a smooth, silky, curly, wavy, or zigzag pattern when the hair is set wet or dry. The 6 natural textured sets and styles are Bantu knot or Nubian knot. The hair is double strand twisted or coil twisted and wrapped onto itself to make a knot. Bantu knot can be opened and released to create wavy and fuller loose curls. Braid out set. This style involves individual braiding or cornrowing on either wet or dry, then opening the braid to create a crimped texture. Flat twist. The hair is parted on several rows over the entire head. Each section is divided into 2 subsections and then twisted and interwoven to lie flat on the scalp. Coiled hairstyles are started with wet hair and styling creams, foams, or gels using the Nubian comb coil technique, finger coils, or coil out technique to create individual formations of tight cylindrical curls. Developmental phases of locks. Phase 1 are beginner locks. The hair is soft and coiled into spiral configurations. The coil is smooth and the end is open. The coil has a shiny or glossy texture. Pre-lock stage. Hair begins to interlace and mesh. The separate units begin to puff up and expand in size. The units are no longer glossy or smooth. Sprouting stage. A bulb can be felt at the end of each lock. The hair is interlacing and locking continues. Growing stage. Locks are formed and growing, and the hair begins to regain length. The locks may still be frizzy, but is also solid in some areas. Maturation stage. Locks are closed at the ends, dense and dull, and do not reflect light. Locks are much longer now and fully locked. This is an example of the coil comb technique. The palm roll method. Lock maintenance. Shaping or grooming locks takes client patience and commitment. In the beginning, the client must have frequent professional hair shaping and grooming services to ensure a good outcome. After the locks are started, stylists should recommend that clients visit the salon for basic lock maintenance, cleansing, steam conditioning, and retwisting the locks at least every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the coil or curl pattern. Fully formed locks may take 6 months to a year to fully lock. At-home maintenance between salon visits is highly recommended. Stylists should advise clients to cleanse the scalp with tea tree oil solution between salon visits, once weekly or as needed to maintain a healthy scalp. Hydrate lock shafts with a liquid spray leave-in conditioner. Moisturize scalp and locks with essential oil sprays daily or as needed. Retwist frizzy locks around the hairline as needed with a lock butter, a creamy pomade with botanical oils, shea butter, and vitamins. Whether you are using an iron, performing a wet set, knowing the parts of a curl and its proper placement allows you to create a base for the final style. There are 4 basic curl patterns that give a specific result depending on hair length. Root curl creates volume and movement by forming curls from scalp to ends, best for short or long layered hair. Spiral curl creates volume and vertical corkscrew effect by winding a strand around the rod, best for one length hair. Wave creates volume and texture using an S-shaped pattern, usually a surface enhancer. End curls creates a finished appearance by turning the hair ends under or over with a curling iron. Finger waves involve shaping and directing the hair into an S pattern using the fingers, a styling comb, and styling lotion or foam. While finger waves were all the rage in the 1920s and 30s, this hairstyle is still an elegant special occasion option. Finger waves add glamour to designs and teach you how to move and direct the hair and style it to the curvature of the head. Hair wrapping is a popular wet set technique used to make chemically relaxed hair smooth and straight while retaining a beautiful shape. With this method, comb hair and wrap around the head to give it a smooth, rounded contour, resulting in an effect that is similar to the use of jumbo rollers. A doobie wrap is a dry wrap procedure done using a boar brush or comb. Wrap the hair around the head using the same steps as a wet wrap. If the hair is too short to stay in this position on its own, use duckbill clips to hold the hair in place. until all hair is wrapped and secure using a large hairnet or silk scarf that is tied on the forehead. Once secured, remove all clips to prevent indentation. The doobie wrap can be used on all wrap techniques as nightly maintenance for clients. This procedure is performed on highly textured virgin hair. All wave and curl patterns can benefit from this procedure if a straight look is desired. It uses a blow dryer, flat iron, and cling wrap. Begin by applying a leave-in conditioner and thermal protectant. If more bounce is desired, replace the paddle brush with a round brush and flat iron the hair. Use a pressing comb for the edges if the hair is too short for the flat iron. If more curl is desired, curl the hair and finish with liquid finishing tools. To complete the flat silk press, wrap the hair using a doobie dry wrap method and securely cover the entire head with cling wrap. Place the client under a hooded dryer for 10 to 15 minutes, then remove the cling wrap by placing both hands gently on the client's head and softly twisting the wrap in the same direction the hair is wrapped until it releases it. Pin curl bases and foundations. Before making pin curls, divide the wet hair into sections or panels. Then subdivide each section into the type of base required for the various curls. The most common shaped base is the arc base, half moon, or C-shaped. Others are rectangular, triangular, arc base, and square base. Ridge curls or pin curls placed immediately behind or below a ridge to form a wave. Summary and review. This chapter explains various styles that can be accomplished and how to achieve them. It explains the different tools and products that are needed to create different shapes that will create a beautiful style. It breaks it down from clips to thermal irons to even hair dryers in order to help you understand the most effective way of creating a beautiful hairstyle.